What makes someone human? Is it the fact that we are born instead of created? Is it our memories, our emotions, our ability to love, suffer, or fear death? These are the questions at the center of Ridley Scott's 1982 sci-fi film, Blade Runner. And just as any good sci-fi movie does, though there are flying cars and artificial humans, the most important subject isn't technology. It's us. Blade Runner introduces us to a world where genetically engineered beings called replicants have been created to serve humanity. They're stronger and often more capable than humans, but they're considered dangerous because they have emotions and desires, and because they don't want to die. The protagonist, Deckard, is a former police officer whose job is to hunt down and retire escaped replicants. At first, this seems pretty straightforward. Humans are the good guys, replicants are the threat. But the movie slowly makes that distinction harder and harder to believe. And that's what makes Blade Runner so interesting. One of the first things worth paying attention to is the world itself. Los Angeles is technologically advanced, but it doesn't look like a perfect future. It's dark, polluted, constantly raining. The streets are crowded, advertisements are everywhere, and massive corporations seem to dominate everyday life. The city is filled with incredible technology, but also feels lonely and decaying. And that contradiction is important. Humanity has become extremely good at creating things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that humanity has become better at caring for the world or each other. The visual style reinforces this idea. Ridley Scott uses shadows, smoke, rain, neon lights, and darkness in a way that draws heavily from the film noir. The result is a world that looks beautiful and disturbing at the same time. And that same contradiction appears in the replicants. We're told that they're artificial. We're told that they're different from us. But then we watch them behave in remarkably human ways. They fear death. They form relationships. They experience pain. They remember things. And most importantly, they desperately want to live. Rachel is one of the best examples of this. When we first meet her, Rachel believes that she is human. She has memories of her childhood. She remembers her family. She has photographs that seem to prove that those memories are real. But then she discovers something devastating. Her memories aren't actually hers. They're implanted. And suddenly her entire understanding of herself falls apart. This raises a really fascinating question. If your memories feel real to you, does it matter where they came from? We often think that our memories are part of what makes us who we are. So if someone has artificial memories, but genuinely experiences the emotions connected to them, are those emotions somehow less real? Blade Runner never gives us a simple answer. Instead, it makes us uncomfortable with the idea that identity can be reduced to biology. But the character who really challenges our understanding of humanity is Roy Batty. Roy Batty is one of the replicants that Deckard is hunting. He's dangerous, he's powerful, and he kills people. But Roy is also terrified of dying. His lifespan is limited, and he spends much of the movie desperately searching for a way to extend it. And honestly, that's one of the most relatable things about him. Who hasn't wished for more time? Who hasn't been afraid of losing the people or experiences that matter to them? Eventually, Roy catches Deckard. Deckard is helpless. Roy has every reason to kill him. But instead, Roy saves him. And that's where the movie completely flips the roles that we've been given. The artificial being shows mercy to the human that's been hunting him. The person who is supposedly less human demonstrates one of the qualities we most often associate with humanity: empathy. Then comes one of the most famous scenes in the movie. Roy sits in the rain as his life comes to an end. He reflects on the experiences that he's had and the memories that disappear when he dies. And that's what makes his death so powerful. Roy isn't simply afraid of dying. He's afraid that everything he's experienced will be lost. The memories that make up his life will disappear with him. Then, as Roy dies, a dove flies into the sky. It's a simple image, but it gives his death almost a spiritual quality. The film has spent its entire runtime telling us that Roy is a machine. Yet when he dies, we're encouraged to mourn him like a human being. And maybe that's the point. Maybe being human isn't about how we were created. Maybe it's about your capacity to experience life. And then Blade Runner turns the question back to Deckard. Throughout the movie, there are clues suggesting that Deckard himself might be a replicant. The most famous is his unicorn ring. Deckard dreams about a unicorn, and later Gaff leads an origami unicorn outside his apartment, implying that Gaff somehow knows about Deckard's dream. If that dream is connected to an implanted memory, then Deckard may not be as different from the replicants as he believes. And whether or not you believe that Deckard is actually a replicant, the ambiguity is important. The movie doesn't want us to feel completely certain about who is human. It wants us to question why that distinction matters in the first place. That's ultimately why I think Blade Runner is worth watching. It's easy to look at it as an old science fiction movie about robots and futuristic technology. But underneath all of that, it's asking questions that are still incredibly relevant. What makes a person? Can memories define our identity? Can something artificial experience genuine emotion? And if it can suffer, fear death, and care about others, do we have the right to treat it as it's disposable? That's what makes Blade Runner such a lasting film. It doesn't exactly tell us what humanity is. Instead, it gives us characters like Rachel, Deckard, and Roy Batty, and asks us to decide for ourselves. And perhaps the most human character in the entire movie isn't the one who was born human. Maybe it's the one who understands how precious a life can be when it's almost gone. So the next time you watch Blade Runner, ask yourself, what makes someone human?